Yak Gadget, made in America, based outside of Nashville, Tennessee. Yak Gadget offers all kinds of...
Welcome back to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. We're brought to you by Yak Gadget for all your fine quality kayak fishing accessories. Go to yakgadget.com. Pelican cases, coolers, and lighting. Go to pelican.com. And the 153 Bait Company for all your hard and soft bait needs. Go to the153angler.com. So join with me as together we dive into the tips and techniques that will help make us better anglers out on the water. Welcome back to the Bass Fishing for Noobs show here on the Paddle and Fin Podcast. I am your host, Sean Lavery. Tonight we have a returning guest. He's been on the Noobs show a few times. He's also been on many of the other segments on Paddle and Fin. I'd like to bring on Mr. Jaxton Orr. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, thanks so much for having me on the show tonight. I appreciate it.
No problem. It's always good to have you back. Definitely a growing ambassador for the sport, and you're doing great things all across the fishing spectrum. So always a good time having you on the show.
Thank you.
So, no problem. For the folks who are living under a rock somewhere and haven't heard of you, just let them know who you are, where you're from, and we'll kind of cover what you've been up to since we had you on the show last.
Okay, yeah. Well, my name's Jaxton Orr. I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana. I've been fishing ever since I could remember. So probably 5 years old, I'd go fishing after school with my dad at our local ponds. And I started fishing tournaments when I was 14 years old. And that's when I started doing the Indiana Kayak Anglers tournaments and started getting my feet wet in the Hobie Bass Open Series. And now I'm 18 years old and living the dream at Carson-Newman University, fishing for their collegiate team. Been very blessed, and I'm just going wherever God takes me, and it's been awesome. Like it's been incredible. I'm excited.
It sounds amazing and exhausting all at the same time. So
that statement's true. It's very, very fun. But it does get exhausting with school, like balancing fishing and school. So yes, it does get exhausting, but it's all worth it in the end.
Cool. Well, again, I figured we could start off by just letting the folks know how you've done this year, some of your highlights. I know you have a couple of Angler of the Years that you picked up already, and then also how the school fishing is going.
Yeah, I mean, as far as my year has gone, it actually hasn't gone how I wanted it to at the beginning of the year. In all honesty, I struggled a lot. I had expectations for myself going into the Hobie Bass Open Series that, I was going to get top 5 at this event, top 10 at this event, and I learned the hard way that's not really the way to go at it. Just fish your heart out. And I've been talking like Coach Hunter Sales, like he's talked me through it. Like you just got to go, give it your all and fish and have no expectations. And when I learned that finally, it was early summer. I started to finally find that consistency again and start winning events and Angler of the Year. And it's just, I'm just, like I said, I'm super excited to see what holds in the rest of the year, like the Hobie TOC, the national championship. So got a lot on the agenda.
And then add on all your school tournaments and stuff. I'm sure that.
Yeah.
But having the right mind frame, we have a new show. My buddy Chris on Paddle and Fin is running called Mindset, and it's all about the mental aspects of the game. And I think that would be, a perfect thing for him to chat with you about sometime, because that is such a huge part of the game. And when you can go into it with the right mindset, it makes a complete difference in how a lot of times how you do and what the results that you find are.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's taken me a long time to realize that. It's mind over matter.
You said a long time, but you're only 18 and you've already learned those hard lessons.
It's taken me till this year, and I started kayak in tournaments when I was 14. It's crazy how much your mind carries you. It really is.
And yet, but to having learned that lesson now at the point you are in your career, you have a long time to kind of use that to your advantage, where there's a lot of other folks out there who are still working on that part of their game. Not that anybody has it perfected by any means, I don't think, but to have that learning experience behind you moving forward, I think can only make you a better angler and, help kind of propel you even further. So.
Yes, sir.
As far as the rest of this year, what are you looking at? What kind of highlights do you got coming up?
Yeah, the thing I'm most excited for is the Hobie Tournament of Champions. Really looking forward to that and practicing for that. And then I've got an event on Chickamauga for college that I'll fish for Carson-Newman that I'm looking forward to. And I'm sure there's other events, hopefully that my coach will send me to and compete for the college. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. And maybe the kayak bass fishing national championship. I haven't decided if I'm going to that or not because that's quite a drive.
Okay, so that I'm sure that you got to really kind of pick and choose where you're going and what fits in with your schedule. As far how is the college? Has the college scene been like what you expected, or like the fishing? Has that gone kind of how you thought it would, or has there been any surprises there?
No, not really. I mean, ever since I committed to Carson-Newman University, I talked to the coach and everything he's told me. I mean, it's gone like perfectly as he said, and I love it so far. I mean, we have a tournament every Wednesday or every other Wednesday. We compete against our own team, and we fish with different people every time. And then it used to be every other Saturday on average we'd have a ACA tournament where we compete against like 7 to 8 other schools, and there'd be 50 to 60 people that signed up. So that's been fun. It's been a blast. I'm excited for like the big stuff to start, and that's starting really soon.
Interesting. And how much travel is involved with that? Like, how far are you going for those kind of events?
There's a lot of traveling. Like this morning, coach sent 6 boats to go to Darnell, and the tournament I believe starts Friday, so they got a few days of practice.
Interesting. And then I can't even imagine trying to work on schoolwork on top of that kind of stuff. How do you find time to fit that in?
Yeah, it's tough, for sure. Gratefully, fishing's considered a sport here at Carson-Newman, so our teachers really work with us, and we're very fortunate for them to, I guess, like our team, and so they understand, and we'll either get our work done before or they'll let us do it after the tournament.
Okay, no, that's cool. So having the flexibility there, I'm sure, is probably the only way it would be feasible to do it. So
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Cool, man. Well, I'm glad that's going well for you, and you're finding your way through that, because I'm sure that can be tough. But so the main reason I wanted to have you on tonight was because you recently announced your latest charity tournament. So I wanted to kind of help you get the word out there for that and reach as many people as you can. So I figured we could start off talking about back when you did your first charity tournament, kind of what put that idea in your mind. Where did that come from, and kind of how it has grown from there.
Yeah. So I think my first charity tournament, that was 4 years ago. So that would have been 2017. I just, I was just sitting on the couch one day. I told someone else, or a few people this, but I was just sitting on the couch one day and was just, I knew Ron Champion did his charity tournament and what a turnout that had, and all the money he raised for the people who gave those in need. And I was just kind of going through my pictures and social media, and I was like, it's just the idea popped to me. I was like, what if I have my own charity tournament? How can I make an impact on others' lives? And so I reached out to a few sponsors and was grateful to get some prizes, and talked to Mr. Dwayne Wally at Attorney X and set everything up, and everything's history from then. I think we had 47 anglers signed up the first year, and then like 137 2 years ago, and like 260 something last year. And this year, hopefully we can get over 300. That would be awesome and raise like over $5,000, $6,000 for charities.
That's awesome. And what kind of charities are you targeting with this?
Yeah, so how it's kind of done is this year the top six, each of the anglers in the top six, the money percentages that they would receive for being the top finishers, they get to choose where that money goes to, whether if it's a family in need, a charity that's important to them, or even just someone struggling who needs help. I mean, that's their decision. It's not my decision. It's whoever finishes in the top six.
That's kind of a cool way to do it. You get the added incentive of knowing that if you do well, then you're gonna directly impact where that's going.
Yeah.
So
It gives people something to fish for, like, and like really try to, if one of their friends are struggling, like really try and fish hard for them, and I mean, hard work pays off at the end.
absolutely, and if you have a good goal or reason for competing, then that's only going to drive you harder and push you more to succeed. So
Yes,
I
sir.
think that's a cool way. Is that how you've done the past ones? I didn't think that was how you.
Yeah, that's how I didn't do it the first year, and then I believe the second and third year I did it that way just because, like the first year was just kind of a guinea pig year, and then I've been kind of like adding new stuff on each year, just trying to improve it, and people have been reaching out to me and helping me that way. So I'm sure there's going to be more improvements next year from how this tournament goes this year.
Awesome. And what all's involved? Like what do you're obviously lining up sponsors and stuff like that, but what else goes on behind the scenes? Like, what kind of work are you putting in to kind of make this a success?
I mean, it's not just me. I mean, everyone thinks it's me because like my name's on everything, but it's really the kayak fishing community, and I mean, I'll post the event, and granted, I already have sponsors for it, but people just pour in, reaching out to me, like for like Paddle and Fin reached out to me, wanted to donate some stuff, which I'm very grateful, and like it's like the sponsor stuff, like that stuff's easy because everyone is so genuine about donating and really want to support this cause. And it's just awesome.
I think the kayaking community in general just seems to do really well when you give them a goal or something like that. They do, and I don't know, maybe I haven't been involved in kind of like the big boat game or anything like that to know how it compares, but just my experiences in with the kayaking crowd, it seems like even from the grassroots organizations on up, like I'm in the Kayak Anglers of Central PA, and we just had a kick cancer's ass tournament and raised a ton of money for some family in need. And it just seems like when you ask people to donate or do that kind of thing, especially in the kayaking community, they seem to kind of come out of the woodwork, like you said, and just pour whatever they got into it to make these events a success. So
No, yeah, you're very right. The kayak fishing community, I mean, it's just like a huge family. Like one person's there for another, and everyone's there for everyone else. Like it's awesome.
yeah, I mean, just the tournaments this year that I can think of off the top of my head, like the Save JT tournament and those kind of events. It's kind of amazing to see what people will do when you have professional anglers donating their entire win to causes like that. It really restores your faith in humanity a little bit and shows you that there really are a lot of good people out there. You turn on the news and you might not hear always the best things, but sometimes the nicest, biggest stories don't get all the coverage that the doom and gloom does. But it's refreshing when you hear about it to kind of keep you going and just let you know that good is winning, even though it doesn't always seem like it.
For sure.
All right, man. So why don't you give a little bit of the details about this year's tournament? I think the dates and stuff, where you can go to get signed up, that kind of thing, and any other information you think would be good for our listeners to have.
Yeah, so this year's tournament is actually going to start on October 22nd at 6 a.m. Eastern time, and that's a Friday, and it's going to go through October 24th, and it's going to end at 9 p.m. Eastern time, which is a Sunday, and it's nationwide. Anyone can sign up. It's $25 this year. Usually it's $20, but I thought $5 more. $5 is going to go a long ways with if we get 250, 300 people signed up, and it's all bass. And as of right now, it's kayaks only. I have been thinking about changing that rule to bass boats as well, just to get more people signed up. I've had a lot of people reach out to me about that. But as of right now, it's kayaks only. I'll post an announcement if that rule gets changed. But there's a ton of prizes involved. There's over $3,000, maybe even $4,000 in prizes that's going to be given away to the top 6 anglers. So there's a lot to fish for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of intriguing, opening it up to bass boats, because with the college team and everything, you're kind of blurring the lines there between the bass boat world and the kayak world. So I'm sure you have, a lot of people on both sides of that, if you appeal to both of those, you're going to, probably grow it even more, exponentially pretty much. So I can see where that would be definitely an idea that would be kind of bouncing around in your head for sure.
Yeah, for sure. No, it really is. A lot of people, like, when I talked to my team about it, like, everyone wanted to help. Like, that's so awesome about the Carson-Newman fishing team. Like, everyone's there to help. Everyone's, they'll do anything. And obviously they want to fish the event too, than just, pay $25. But, they just pay $25 too to pay and help someone out.
Right. How big is your team? Like, I was curious about that. Like, what does a college fishing team look like?
Yeah, so they vary. This year we actually have, this is the biggest squad Carson-Newman's ever had, because this is the first year they've had all 4 grades. They never had seniors until this year. So I think there's right around 25 to 27 people on our team.
Okay. Is that large for a college team, or is that, I mean,
It's big. It's not too big though. There's a lot of college teams out there that have a lot more people on their team, so it's nice. Like everyone's super close on the team. There's no like certain groups that hang out more than the other. Like everyone's just super cool.
That's awesome, and I'm sure it's just one more subset of people that you get to bounce ideas off of, and really help each other improve their game and everything. So
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how much I've learned since I've got here. Like it's like I've noticed it. Like when I went to Pickwick for the Hobie BOS event, like I had a completely different mindset. Like I like not even like from a fishing standpoint, they've made me better, but from like a mindset standpoint, like it's like I feel like I got better in just that short period of time.
Interesting. And you do a lot of, just research and study on your own to just add on top of that. It's kind of scary when you think about, you think you're already, at one level and you think you're pretty high up there, but then when you start adding skills on top of that and you just keep climbing that ladder, and you're already getting harder and harder to beat. So I can't imagine, as you improve, how much more, dominant you could be. That's got to be a positive feeling. So.
No, I appreciate it. No, it's awesome to have people, because usually I'm fishing by myself and, like not really, seeing what other people are doing or really paying attention to what other boaters are doing, because I'm usually just focusing on what I'm doing. So now it's, it's different, like going out with people on the weekdays and just going to Douglas or Cherokee, which are each like a few miles away, and, learning new things like offshore, super shallow. Like everyone on the team has their specialty.
Okay. How has it been? I'm not like, how far away are you from home? Like, what's the distance like?
Yeah, it's pretty far. It's about 7.5 to 8 hours. So it's like it's not like I can just, leave tonight and be there, and just leave for one day. I actually went home last weekend, so it's quite the haul. I went home for 2 days to fish in the Crossroads event. It was a haul.
And I mean, I know you're used to traveling somewhat, but just being away from family, maybe for as you start your whole college career, then it's got to be a little bit of an adjustment. But
Yeah,
I'm
it's tough for sure because I'm used to seeing my grandma every day and my dad every day. It's a tough change, but my friends here and like the team here, it's made it not necessarily easy, but it's made it a lot less harder to like be away from home. They've showed great hospitality here.
Well, yeah, I know your dad obviously had a big influence on you, and I'm sure he pretty much still keeps in pretty regular contact with you, keeps in touch with you, and
Yes, sir.
keeps supporting you. I'm sure so because it's just neat to have that support structure, but then add on top of it all
Mhm.
your teammates at school and stuff like that. So sounds very cool.
It is. No, it's great.
Well, while I have you on, I figured, since this is the Noob show, I was going to pick your brain just a little bit, if you don't mind. I was going to
Okay.
ask you, what do you do? How do you attack the fall, and what's your fall strategy like, or do you have much of a different strategy in the fall?
I mean, when I'm fishing in the fall, I'm really first I'll try to key in on bait fish and where the fish are moving. Like today, I just got off the water. I was fishing Upper Cherokee, and I was throwing a jackhammer because it was windy. I was around bait fish. There was a little grass there, and throwing a jackhammer, and they were there. I lost like an 8 or 9 pounder too. It
Oh
was,
man,
yeah, it wasn't good. But they were there. So to answer your question, yeah, I key on bait fish. I like fishing rocks too, like riprap. I'll throw crankbaits a lot. Like any bait that kind of represents a bait fish, I guess, is kind of what I like to do.
and are you trying to find them on electronics first, or are you just looking for a sign of them, or how are you locating the bait fish?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have Panoptics right now, but I have been looking for them, like when I'm in a boat that has Panoptics. But other than that, I mean, there you can almost kind of guess where the bait fish are, like guess and check, like in back of pockets, or they'll be going into a creek, or even under docks, or even you can see fish blowing up on them, have a spook ready to go. That's how I caught a lot of my fish at Pickwick. I'd just, be pedaling around and I'd have my spook not in the water, but just, dangling off my rod a little bit, ready to go, and then I'd feel in my other rod real quick and throw that spook out when I saw something, and that's how I'd catch them.
Interesting. And so what are you carrying on the other rod then? What is your like? Is that more of like a search bait kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of do my thing with like the other rods. Like, I'll throw if it's windy, I love to throw a jackhammer in the fall or even a spinnerbait. I always got a tiny Kitech tied on, like I'll throw like a 3.3 on like an underspin type deal. And obviously I'll throw worms sometimes. I mean, it's just kind of like your summer approach, but just the fish are more active, and I feel like they react more to certain things.
I know you mentioned the wind, and just in my experience, it definitely seems like wind is something that you deal with a lot more in the fall. And
Hmm.
sometimes wind I struggle with when I'm fighting for position and stuff. But like you were saying, it really does sometimes make for pretty good fishing conditions when it
Yeah,
adds that chop on the water, breaks up the surface a little bit, and just also it tends to push bait fish then, so it helps you,
yeah,
I guess,
yeah,
sometimes key in on where they might be.
yeah. I think personally, I think the wind. I don't know if it's true or not, but I think the wind gives the fish more oxygen, and the fish get more active, and so that's like I feel like you'll catch more fish on a jackhammer when it's windy out rather than when it's just slack calm because those fish, I mean, obviously the wind's pushing them around, but then they have more oxygen and they're all ready to eat. And when they see that jackhammer or spinnerbait, even a kayak, they'll just come up and grab it.
Right. Awesome. I was trying to think of what else I was going to ask you about. Are there any upgrades you're looking to make? I know, is Panoptic something you're interested in moving to eventually, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get Panoptics. I want to get it before the TOC, but that probably won't happen. But I'm definitely gonna get Panoptics. I'll get I want to try to get the new Lowrance with the C maps, and then I really want to get a bass boat. So that's up next. My goal is to get a bass boat in the next 6 to 7 months. So I just gotta figure out what one I want and if I can afford it and all that stuff.
And as far as your kayak now, right now you're running a Hobie PA 360, correct?
Yeah, yep, the PA 14 360 technology. Yep, and I'll stay in that. Kayak fishing's going nowhere. I'm gonna keep doing that, and hopefully the collegiate scene works out with kayak fishing.
I was going to ask you about that. Like, what's the plan for that? Is that something that they could move toward? I mean, right now it's mostly boats, right?
Yeah, it's mostly boats right now. I know Chad Hoover was going to, or he did create, him and Gary Mason created a college trail, but I think they postponed that trail until next year. And I think a few other things are getting in the works. Not really sure, but hopefully, everything works out.
Yeah, I feel like that would, just be such a great increase because bass boats do take a little bit of an investment to get into, and whereas I feel like kayaks are a little bit more accessible. So maybe the smaller schools that wouldn't be able to afford maybe a fleet of bass boats could definitely swing a fleet of kayaks and field a team, and that I feel like that would be a cool change of pace for some of those and allow some of the smaller schools to get involved too. So
for sure. And a lot of not a lot, but I know some of the bass boat guys they'll fish kayak events. Like we got a few guys on our team that would definitely fish kayak events. Like Ewing's on my team too, so he'll fish kayak events. So we'll have a lot of people I think that are gonna do it.
That'll be cool. Cool, man. Well, that's mostly of what I wanted to cover tonight. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover? Or any announcements you want to make, or you talked a little bit about the plans you have for this year, but is there anything else you wanted to highlight?
I don't think so. I just want to say thanks to you, Paddle and Finn, for having me on. I appreciate it. It was really nice talking to you and everyone who supports me and this charity event. We're all doing this together and super excited to see what happens and raise money for people in need.
Awesome. Definitely, for sure. It's been I love helping you out in whatever way I can. If I can get your the word out to a few more people, I'm glad to be able to do that for you. So
yeah, I really appreciate it. It means a lot.
No problem. Do you want to give shout outs to your school sponsors, anything like that?
Yeah, I obviously I want to give a shout out to Carson-Newman University and the fishing team, making me a better angler and just all the opportunities they've given me so far. And my sponsors, St. Croix Rods, Hobie Fishing, Eagle Claw, Trocar, Yaki and Roblaza, Tourney Tag, and Tourney X. Want to give a huge shout out to Mr. Wally for supporting the charity event, waiving the $5 fees every year, and he promotes it a lot. Very grateful for him and his wife. Gill Fishing, Fishing Online, they do a ton for me. Calco's Fishing, Dakota Lithium, Real Tree, and then Kayak Fishing. Very grateful for all of them.
That is a who's who list of sponsors, man. That's pretty cool. I have my first victory rod on my way, so I'm excited to try those out. So
awesome. Yeah, you'll like it.
I just upgraded a broken rod, and that when I first called about it, they're like, "No, you can't upgrade to a victory yet." But I called back just last week, and they said, "Oh, yep, you can do that now." So
that's awesome. No, you're gonna really like it.
I should have it here shortly. So how about where can the folks follow you on social media or anything like that?
Yeah, my Facebook and Instagram. I think my Facebook, you can just look up Jaxton Orr and find me. But my Instagram is just Jaxton Orr Fishing, and I'll post more about my charity tournament on my Facebook just because it's more it's easier for me to post the links and stuff there. So if you're looking for details, just go to Facebook.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, sir. Hang out a little bit after we finish this up because I want to get some information from you for when I make the show post. But again, thanks again for coming on, dude. It's always a pleasure to have you on. I feel like hopefully you can reach your goal of 300 plus anglers for the tournament and raise a ton of money for charities and really help a bunch of people out. I think that's a great cause. So wish you the best of luck at that, and as well with the rest of your fishing year. I hope look forward to seeing you maybe on the reel down as a winner of some of the events coming up. So
that'd be awesome.
All right, dude. Well, thanks again, guys. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check out Jaxton's his tournament coming up. Sign up if you can and support a great cause. And as always, thank you for listening to Paddle and Fin. This has been the Bass Fishing for Noobs segment, where we bring you the techniques, the tricks, and the tips to help you rip more lips. Good night, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to another killer episode on Paddle and Fin. Don't forget to go check out our website at paddle_and_fin.com. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel at Paddle and Fin. If you got a question, comment, want to hear from a future guest on a future episode, feel free to email us at paddle_and_fin@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Paddle and Fin on Facebook and Instagram. Shout out to our show supporters, Angler. The Angler button and app just makes for a better time on the water and creates a virtual logbook for every fishing outing out on the water. Shout out to Rocktown Adventures, located in Northern Illinois, for all your kayaking, camping, and hiking needs. Shout out to Jig Masters Jigs. When in doubt, get the jig out. Go to jigmasters.com